Stop thinking, start doing. How many times have you found yourself waiting, scribbling down ideas, staring at the clock, debating your next move but making none? You might even type and delete that message a dozen times or dream endlessly about what could be. Sound familiar? Waiting, hesitating, overthinking. We tell ourselves we're preparing, strategizing, waiting for the perfect moment, but here's the truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Action doesn't need permission. Dreams don't wait around for everything to align magically. They come to life through one thing: starting. So ask yourself, how many dreams have you postponed? How much potential has been left untapped because you were waiting for conditions to feel just right? It's time to break free. Overthinking is a silent obstacle. It feels productive at times, like you're doing something. But in truth, it traps you, paralyzing progress. We imagine every possible scenario, calculate every risk, and obsess over potential pitfalls. But the more time we spend waiting for certainty, the further we drift from action. Here's what no one tells you. Overthinking delays decision-making, but not life. Opportunities slip by while we're lost in thought. So let me ask, what have you delayed because you thought you weren't ready? The only thing that truly matters is action. Thinking has its place. It lays the foundation, but it's doing that builds the house. Even small, imperfect actions are progress. Progress doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't even require you to have it all figured out. It just asks for one thing: a start. Here's the truth most people miss. Every single great achievement begins rough, uncertain, and messy. Not flawless, not perfectly timed. Every masterpiece, every successful venture, every innovation started with someone saying, "I'll figure it out as I go." Picture this: a nervous writer sitting at their laptop. Their dream? To write a book. But every time they start a sentence, they delete it, convinced it's not good enough. Then one day, they simply decide, "I'll write one paragraph today, bad or good." That decision becomes a chapter, then a book. Now imagine an aspiring entrepreneur. They've been nursing their business idea for years, perfecting the pitch, tweaking the plan, but never taking the risk to launch. Finally, they take the leap. Their pitch might not go perfectly, but their journey begins. Or think of a young athlete setting out to run their first race. They don't feel ready. The training is half complete. Yet they lace up their shoes and start running. These aren't just specific examples. They're milestones in the lives of anyone ready to embrace action. Imperfect but essential steps forward. Now let's talk about fear. Because that's the real reason we hesitate, isn't it? Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of imperfection. Let me tell you something nobody says enough. Mistakes are a vital part of growth. Yes, you'll stumble. Yes, you'll face challenges. And yes, there will be moments of doubt. But those are the proof that you're trying, learning, and moving forward. So will it be perfect? No. Will there be setbacks? Absolutely. But here's the beauty of starting. Perfection isn't required. Acceptance of the rough beginnings, the mistakes, and the lessons is what leads to true progress. Anyone you admire today? Any story of triumph or success? It began by just starting. Every big dream, every life-changing journey begins somewhere small, in that first move, that first leap of faith, that just try moment that turns into momentum. Let this sink in. Small steps create waves. Taking action, even when it's small, starts to build energy, confidence, and eventually progress. As you move, barriers begin to shrink. You stop fixating on the what-ifs and start focusing on the what-nows. Every masterpiece starts with a first step. Every expert was once a beginner who decided not to quit. Picture this: someone uploading their first video, shaky camera work, stumbling words, but courage in their heart. Fast forward a few months, confidence, polished skills, a thriving audience. Or a person running their first mile, panting, struggling, but determined. Months later, they're crossing the finish line of a half marathon. Action transforms hesitation into opportunities, dreams into realities. By doing, you expand what's possible. So here's my challenge to you. What's one thing, just one, that you've been waiting to start? That project you've been postponing, that idea you've been questioning, that risk you've been avoiding. Start now. The moment isn't next week, next month, or someday. The moment is now. Start where you are, with what you have, and with the belief that every small step you take matters. You don't have to be ready. You just have to be willing. I'll leave you with this. Stop letting hesitation steal your future. Start today, no matter how small. Be that writer typing the first paragraph, the entrepreneur making their first pitch, the runner tying their shoes for the very first time. When you look back in the months and years to come, you won't feel regret for what you tried, even if it wasn't perfect. You'll feel pride for what you dared to do. Stop thinking, start doing. Your future self is waiting. The question isn't, what if I fall? The question is, what if I fly? You'll never know until you try.